Good evening, champion. Let me ask you something right now. Are you ready to step into your greatness? Are you ready to leave the excuses behind and get to work? Because tonight, we're not talking about dreams. We're talking about action. We're not talking about waiting for the tide to change. We're talking about rowing until you create your own waves. Just Row 2025 isn't just a slogan. It's a mindset, a movement, a battle cry. It's about putting your hands on the oars of your life and pulling with everything you've got. No matter how strong the current is, no matter how tired you feel, no matter how far away the shore looks. You see, too many people are standing on the dock waiting for the perfect moment. They're waiting for the wind to blow their way, waiting for somebody to come along and hand them a better boat, waiting for the seas to calm. But let me tell you something, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The perfect time is now. The perfect person to change your life is you. Some of you sitting there thinking, but it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Success is hard. Change is hard. Growth is hard. But guess what? Staying stuck is hard too. You got to choose your hard. Will you let the waves knock you down, or will you grab the oars and row through them? Listen to me. The storm isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. But here's the truth. Nobody is going to row for you. Not your family, not your friends, not your boss, not your coach. This is your race, your ocean, your destiny. And if you want to win, you got to row like your life depends on it. Because it does. You want 2025 to be different, then be different. You want to see change, then be the change. Don't wait for the winds to favor you. Be the person who rows against the wind and still moves forward. And let me tell you this, when you row with purpose, when you row with heart, the world will notice. The storms will respect you. The tides will yield to you. Not because it's easy, but because you've earned it. So tonight, I'm challenging you. I'm calling you out. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop doubting. It's time to show up. Grab those oars and just run. But 2025 is your year. The storm is your stage. The ocean is your opportunity. Now go out there and roll like the champion you were born to be. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause for you to gather your courage or align all your circumstances perfectly. And yet, so many people find themselves stuck, waiting for that elusive perfect moment, the moment when the stars align, the resources show up, and the path becomes smooth. If you're standing on the sidelines of your own life, waiting for everything to fall into place, you'll end up watching as others pass you by, rowing relentlessly through waters you deem too rough. That's the difference between action and excuses. Those who act don't wait for the current to turn in their favor. They dive in, start rowing, and create their own momentum. Excuses are easy. They comfort you in the short term, giving you a reason to avoid the discomfort of growth. They sound reasonable, even logical. I don't have enough time. I'm not skilled enough. I'll start tomorrow. These excuses feel like cushions against the hard edges of effort, but they're really just anchors, weighing you down, keeping you stationary while life moves forward. And the longer you hold on to those excuses, the heavier they become, sinking you deeper into a place of stagnation and regret. The truth about excuses is that they mask fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of hard work. But fear can't steer your life if you refuse to let it. The only way to conquer fear is through action. Action silences the voice of doubt. Action proves to you that you are capable, that you are resilient, that you are stronger than you thought. The more you act, the quieter the excuses become, because every stroke of the oar builds confidence, momentum, and belief in yourself. When you choose action over excuses, you shift the narrative of your life. You stop playing the victim of your circumstances and start playing the role of the hero. Heroes don't wait for someone else to come and save them. They take responsibility for their journey, even when it's difficult, even when the odds are against them. That's what it means to row your own boat. It's not about waiting for calm seas. It's about navigating through the storm, one stroke at a time. Taking action doesn't mean you have to have all the answers or that the path will be clear. In fact, action often starts in uncertainty. It begins when you take that first step, even when you don't know where it will lead. It's about trusting that progress will come, not because the conditions are perfect, but because you're committed to moving forward regardless of that. Progress doesn't come from analyzing every possible outcome. It comes from doing the work, from showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to admire the results of others and think they had it easier or that they were lucky. But behind every success story is the person who decided to act, who decided to roll through the resistance. They didn't wait for someone to hand them a perfect opportunity. They created their own. They failed, they struggled, but they kept moving. That's the part of the story most people don't see. They only see the destination, not the countless hours of rowing that got them there. The same is true for you. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't the gap in resources or talent. It's the gap in effort and consistency. When you decide to stop making excuses and start rowing, you close that gap with every stroke. You don't need the best boat, the calmest seas, or the most favorable winds. All you need is the willingness to act, the grit to keep going, and the belief that you're capable of reaching your destination. Excuses rob you of your potential. They keep you in a cycle of inaction where nothing changes and nothing improves. But action, consistent, determined action, unlocks doors you didn't even know existed. It leads to opportunities you couldn't see from the shore. It creates a ripple effect where one small act of effort sets off a chain reaction of progress and success. But none of that happens if you stay stuck in a place of I can't or not now. When you commit to action, you learn to adapt. You find ways to row even when the current is against you. You discover strength and resilience you didn't know you had. Every challenge becomes a chance to grow. Every setback a lesson that sharpens your skills. Action transforms you in ways that excuses never will. It's not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can. People often wait for motivation to strike before they act, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, influenced by mood, energy, and circumstances. What truly drives change is discipline, the decision to act, no matter how you feel. Discipline doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't wait for inspiration. It's the voice in your head that says, get up, show up, and do the work, even when you'd rather not. And the beauty of discipline is that it feeds itself. The more you act, the more motivated you feel to keep going. It's a cycle of progress that starts with a single choice: to row instead of stand still. Every time you take action, you build momentum. Momentum is powerful. It makes the next stroke easier, the next decision clearer. It's what keeps you going when the initial excitement fades. Momentum turns small efforts into big results over time. But you can't build momentum if you're stuck making excuses. Momentum is earned through consistent effort, through showing up and putting in the work day after day. When you look back on your life, What will you see? A series of excuses that kept you from living up to your potential, or a series of actions that propelled you toward greatness? The choice is yours every single day. Every moment you spend waiting for the perfect time is a moment lost, a chance wasted. But every moment you spend rowing is a step closer to the life you want, the goals you set, the person you're meant to be. It's not about rowing perfectly. It's about rowing consistently. Mistakes will happen, failures will come, but those aren't reasons to stop. They're reasons to keep going, to row smarter, to row harder. Each misstep teaches you something valuable if you're willing to learn. And that's the beauty of action. It's messy, imperfect, but undeniably transformative. Life presents challenges at every corner, and no path worth pursuing is ever truly easy. The question isn't whether you will face difficulty, it's which type of difficulty you're willing to endure. Growth, success, and progress come at a price, and that price is effort, persistence, and sometimes discomfort. Yet, staying stagnant, refusing to take the necessary steps, avoiding risks, or choosing comfort over progress is its own kind of hard. The challenge lies in recognizing that you must choose which hard you're willing to face, because no path is free from obstacles. You either deal with the discomfort of striving for something better or the regret of staying exactly where you are. Choosing your hard begins with an honest assessment of where you are and where you want to be. Too often, people stay in situations that don't serve them because they convince themselves it's easier to do so. But is it really? Is waking up every day feeling unfulfilled truly easier than the effort it would take to pursue something meaningful? Is settling for mediocrity easier than pushing yourself to grow, learn, and achieve? At first glance, it might seem that way. But over time, the weight of unrealized potential, the pain of what ifs, and the dull ache of dissatisfaction grow heavier. Staying stuck isn't as easy as it appears. It comes with its own set of difficulties. On the other hand, pursuing your goals, choosing the hard path of growth, comes with its challenges as well. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and resilience. There will be days when you're exhausted, when progress feels slow, when doubt creeps in. But the heart of striving for more carries with it a sense of purpose, a feeling of movement and momentum. Even when the journey is tough, you know you're working towards something that matters. Something that has the power to transform your life. The difficulties of growth are temporary, but the rewards are lasting. People often hesitate to choose the hard path of growth because they fear failure. They worry about what might happen if they try and don't succeed. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's the necessary part of the process. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback an opportunity to recalibrate and improve. The hard path is not about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as fuel to keep moving forward. The discomfort of failure is temporary, but the regret of never trying lasts far longer. Choosing your hard also means letting go of excuses. It's easy to blame circumstances, lack of resources, or timing for why you haven't taken action. But the truth is, those excuses are just barriers you've built to protect yourself from discomfort. When you choose to take responsibility for your life, you realize that while you can't control every circumstance, you can control how you respond to them. You can choose to let obstacles stop you, or you can choose to find a way around them. That choice, the decision to persist in the face of difficulty, is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that effort compounds over time. The small, consistent actions you take every day may not seem significant in the moment, but they add up to monumental change. The hard work you put in today might not yield immediate results, but it sets the foundation for the success you'll see tomorrow. This is why consistency is so crucial. The effort you put in day after day builds momentum, strengthens your resolve, and moves you closer to your goals. It's hard, yes, but it's a hard that pays dividends over time. Choosing your hard also means stepping outside of your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen in the places where you feel safe and secure. It happens when you push yourself to try new things, take risks, and face your fears. It's uncomfortable, even scary at times, but it's also exhilarating. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your limits and discover new strength. You realize that you're capable of more than you thought. That the boundaries you once believed were immovable were actually self-imposed. Part of growth is also about persistence. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the journey seems too long or the obstacles too great. But persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not about never feeling doubt or frustration. It's about pushing through those feelings and continuing to take action anyway. Every time you persist, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts, tougher than your obstacles, and more resilient than you realize. There's also a mental shift that happens when you choose your hard. You stop seeing challenges as problems and start seeing them as opportunities. Every obstacle becomes a chance to learn, to grow, to prove to yourself what you're capable of. This shift in perspective is powerful because it changes how you approach difficulty. Instead of fearing it, you welcome it as part of the process. This mindset doesn't make the challenges easier, but it makes them more manageable because you see them as steps on the path to success rather than as barriers. Choosing your hard also requires patience. In a world that values instant gratification, it's easy to get discouraged when progress doesn't come as quickly as you'd like. But meaningful change takes time. The hard path is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It requires endurance, the ability to keep going even when the results aren't immediately visible. Patience is what allows you to stay committed to the process, trusting that your efforts will pay off in the long run. It's important to recognize that choosing your hard isn't a one-time decision. It's a choice you make every single day, every morning when you wake up, every time you face a challenge, every moment you feel tempted to take the easy way out. You have the opportunity to choose. Do you choose the hard of growth, of effort, of pursuing your goals? Or do you choose the hard of regret, of staying in the same place, of wondering what could have been? Each choice you make shapes the trajectory of your life. Every small decision adds up, creating a ripple effect that determines where you end up. The heart of growth also brings with it a sense of fulfillment that staying stagnant never can. When you put in the effort, when you face challenges head on, when you persist despite setbacks, you gain a sense of pride in what you've accomplished. You realize that the journey itself, the hard work, the lessons, the persistence is just as valuable as the destination. That fulfillment is something no one can take away from you, something that stays with you long after the challenges have passed. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and moments that test your resolve. These are the storms, the rough seas that many try to avoid, but they are inevitable. No one gets through life without encountering difficulties, setbacks, and unexpected turbulence. The mistake most people make is viewing these storms as enemies as forces that exist to break them down or halt their progress. But the truth is, storms aren't here to defeat you. They're here to shape you, to build you, to prepare you for the next level. The struggle against resistance is not a punishment, it's a gift. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove to yourself just how resilient you can be. Embracing the storm is the key to unlocking your true potential. When a storm hits, the first instinct is often to retreat, to find shelter, to wait it out. It's human nature to seek comfort and safety, to avoid pain and difficulty. But avoiding the storm doesn't make it go away. The longer you wait, the more time you lose, and the further you fall behind. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is their willingness to step into the storm, to face it head on, and to find a way through it. It's not about pretending the storm doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let it stop you. The path forward is rarely smooth, but it's always worth traveling, even when the winds are against you. Embracing the storm means accepting that discomfort is part of the process. Growth doesn't happen in the calm. It happens when you're stretched, when you're pushed beyond your limits, when you're forced to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. The storm forces you to confront your weaknesses, to acknowledge the areas where you need to improve. It challenges you to adapt, to innovate, to find strength in places you didn't know existed. Without the storm, there is no transformation. Without resistance, there is no progress. The very thing you fear is the thing that will make you stronger, wiser, and more capable. Many people avoid storms because they don't want to deal with the uncertainty, the struggle, or the possibility of failure. But failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. Every successful person has faced storms and they failed along the way. The difference is that they didn't let those failures define them. Instead, they used the lessons from the storm to propel them forward. They understood that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a necessary step towards success. Every time you face a storm and come out on the other side, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you realized. You build confidence, resilience, and the kind of inner strength that can't be shaken by temporary setbacks. When you embrace the storm, you shift your perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you see them as opportunities. Every challenge becomes a chance to grow. Every setback, a chance to learn. This mindset is powerful because it changes how you approach difficulty. Instead of fearing the storm, you welcome it. You understand that it's not there to stop you. It's there to help you become the person you need to be to achieve your goals. The storm doesn't care about your comfort zone. It doesn't care about your fears or doubts. It's there to push you out of complacency, to force you to take action, and to remind you that you're capable of far more than you think. There's a reason why the strongest trees grow in the harshest conditions. The wind, the rain, and the storms force their roots to grow deeper, their trunks to grow stronger. Without the struggle, they wouldn't be able to stand tall. The same is true for you. The storms you face are not there to knock you down. They're there to help you stand taller, to help you grow into the person you're meant to be. Every time you face a challenge and push through it, you're strengthening your foundation. You're becoming more resilient, more adaptable, and more prepared for whatever comes next. Embracing the storm also means letting go of the need for control. You can't control the weather, just like you can't control many of the circumstances in your life. But what you can control is how you respond. You can choose to let the storm overwhelm you, or you can choose to rise above it. You can focus on what's within your power, your attitude, your actions, your perseverance. The storm might be powerful, but so are you. You have the ability to keep rowing, to keep moving forward, no matter how rough the seas get. And every time you do, you remind yourself that you are stronger than the storm. And you remind yourself that it's impossible for you to mess up any longer. The beauty of embracing the storm is that it teaches you to appreciate the calm when it comes. When you face adversity and come out on the other side, you develop a deep sense of gratitude for the moments of peace. You learn not to take the calm for granted because you understand what it took to get there. The storm gives you perspective, helping you recognize the value of your efforts and the progress you've made. It reminds you that even in the midst of difficulty, there is always something to be gained. When you look back on your life, the moments that will stand out the most are not the ones where everything was easy. There'll be the moments when you faced the storm and persevered. There'll be the moments when you doubted yourself but kept going anyway. There'll be the moments when you prove to yourself that you were stronger than you thought. Those are the moments that shape you, that define you, that give your life meaning. The calm is comforting, but the storm is where you grow. Storms also have a way of revealing what truly matters. When everything feels uncertain, you're forced to focus on what's most important. The distractions fall away, and you're left with a clear sense of your priorities. The storm strips away the superficial, leaving only what's essential. It reminds you of your purpose, your values, and your goals. It pushes you to align your actions with what truly matters, to let go of what's holding you back, and to focus on what will move you forward. Every storm is temporary. It might feel overwhelming in the moment, but it won't last forever. The winds will die down, the rain will stop, and the sun will shine again. What matters is what you do during the storm. Do you let it paralyze you, or do you keep moving? Do you wait for it to pass, or do you find a way through it? The choice is yours. Every moment spent in the storm is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. The storm is not the end. It's the chapter in your story, a chapter that will prepare you for the next one. Life is not a spectator sport, and it doesn't come with a script written by someone else. Every decision, every action, every moment is an opportunity for you to take ownership of your journey. Yet too many people give away that power. They blame their circumstances, their environment, or other people for where they are in life, all the while forgetting that they hold the oars in their hands. Your life is your race, and no one else can row it for you. If you want to move forward, if you want to reach the goals you've set, you have to take full ownership, not just of the good moments, but of the challenges, setbacks, and everything in between. Taking ownership means recognizing that no one owes you anything. The world is not obligated to make your path easy or to hand you opportunities. If you're waiting for someone else to come along and steer your boat, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, you are responsible for your own success, for your own happiness, and for your own progress. It's not about blaming yourself for every obstacle that comes your way, but about acknowledging that how you respond to those obstacles is entirely within your control. Life will throw challenges at you, but how you handle them, that's on you. When you take ownership, you stop seeing yourself as the victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the captain of your ship. Victims focus on what they can't control, on the things that are wrong, and on the reasons why they can't move forward. Captains focus on solutions, on opportunities, and on the steps they can take to change their situation. It's a mindset shift, one that requires you to stop making excuses and start taking action. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it because it puts the power back in your hands. Taking ownership also means holding yourself accountable. It's about being honest with yourself about where you are, where you want to be, and what it's going to take to get there. Accountability means looking in the mirror and asking yourself tough questions. Are you putting in the effort required to achieve your goals? Are you making choices that align with your values and priorities? Are you taking responsibility for your actions, or are you looking for someone or something else to blame? These are not easy questions to answer, but they are necessary if you want to take control of your life. When you own your journey, you stop waiting for permission to act. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the approval of others. But waiting is just another way of giving away your power. When you take ownership, you realize that you don't need permission to chase your dreams, to make changes, or to take risks. You give yourself the authority to act, to try, and to fail. You understand that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Ownership is not just about taking credit for your successes. It's about taking responsibility for your failures as well. It's easy to celebrate the wins and to feel proud of the progress you've made. But true ownership means acknowledging the mistakes, the missteps, and the moments when you fall short. It's about learning from those experiences and using them to grow. When you take ownership of your failures, you take away their power to define you. Instead, they become stepping stones, lessons that help you become better, stronger, and more resilient. Taking ownership also means setting boundaries and protecting your time and energy. When you allow others to dictate how you spend your time or what you focus on, you give away control over your life. Ownership requires you to be intentional about where you invest your resources. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals and yes to the things that move you forward. It's about prioritizing what matters most and not letting distractions or external pressures pull you off course. Another aspect of ownership is embracing the process, not just the outcome. It's easy to get caught up in the end goal and to feel frustrated when progress is slow. But when you take ownership of your journey, you understand that the process is where the real growth happens. It's in the daily effort, the small victories, and the lessons learned along the way. Ownership means finding value in the work itself, not just in the result. It's about showing up, putting in the effort, and trusting that every step is bringing you closer to where you want to be. Ownership is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about understanding that you don't have to have everything figured out to move forward. Too often people wait until they feel ready, until they have all the answers before they take action. But readiness is a myth. The truth is you become ready by doing the work, by taking steps even when you feel uncertain. Ownership means giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to learn as you go. When you take ownership, you also take control of your mindset. You understand that your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you're capable, you'll take actions that reflect that belief. If you focus on the positives, you'll find more reasons to be grateful and more motivation to keep going. Ownership means choosing to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and effort as a privilege. It's about cultivating a mindset that supports your growth and empowers you to keep moving forward. Taking ownership is a daily choice. It's not something you decide once and then never think about again. Every day presents new challenges, new decisions, and new opportunities to take control of your life. Ownership means being present in those moments, making intentional choices, and staying committed to your goals. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when it feels like the odds are against you. When you take ownership, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions, your mindset, and your commitment set an example for those around you. You show them what's possible when you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. Ownership is not just about your own journey. It's about creating a ripple effect, empowering others to take control of their lives and pursue their goals. Discipline is the cornerstone of any great achievement, and it is what separates those who merely dream from those who make their dreams a reality. It is the unglamorous, often unseen force that drives consistent action even when motivation fades and distractions abound. Discipline is not about being perfect or never faltering. It is about having the strength to stay committed to your goals and the resilience to get back on track when you stray. It is the ability to focus on the long-term benefits of your efforts, even when the short-term path is challenging. Without discipline, even the best plans, the grandest visions, and the most inspiring goals remain just ideas. Discipline transforms potential into progress and dreams into results. God's at its core, discipline is a choice. It is a decision you make every single day to prioritize your goals and values over momentary comfort or temptation. It is waking up early to put in the work when it will be easier to stay in bed. It is saying no to distractions no matter how enticing, and yes to the actions that move you closer to your vision. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate, something you strengthen through practice and persistence. It is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with consistent effort. Building discipline begins with clarity. You cannot stay disciplined if you do not know what you are working toward or why it matters. Clarity gives you a sense of purpose, a reason to endure the discomfort and challenges that come with disciplined action. When you know your why, you are better equipped to stay focused, even when the journey gets tough. Clarity helps you set priorities and make decisions that align with your goal. It reminds you of what is at stake and keeps you grounded when distractions threaten to pull you off course. Discipline is also about structure. It is not enough to want to succeed. You must create an environment that supports your efforts. This means setting routines, establishing habits, and eliminating obstacles that stand in your way. Structure creates consistency, and consistency is what drives results. When you have a plan, when you know what needs to be done and when, you are less likely to fall victim to procrastination or indecision. Structure provides a roadmap, guiding you through the challenges and ensuring that you stay on track. One of the biggest challenges to discipline is the constant battle against instant gratification. The world is full of distractions that promise immediate pleasure or relief, but these short-term rewards or fiat rewards often come at the expense of long-term progress. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification, to choose what is best for your future self over what feels good in the moment. It is understanding that the temporary discomfort of effort is far outweighed by the satisfaction of achieving your goals. Discipline means resisting the urge to take shortcuts or settle for less, knowing that the harder path is often the most rewarding. Another key aspect of discipline is self-awareness. You must be honest with yourself about your strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies. Self-awareness allows you to identify the habits and patterns that hold you back and replace them with behaviors that support your goals. It helps you recognize when you are making excuses or rationalizing poor choices. Discipline is not about being harsh or overly critical with yourself. It is about being accountable. It is about taking responsibility for your actions and decisions, even when they do not align with your intentions, and using that awareness to make better choices moving forward. Discipline also requires resilience. There will be days when you do not feel motivated, when progress feels slow, and when the obstacles seem insurmountable. It is in these moments that discipline is most important. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward no matter how you feel. Resilience is the ability to push through setbacks, to keep going even when it feels like the odds are against you. It is about bouncing back from failure, learning from mistakes, and refusing to let temporary challenges derail your progress. Discipline and resilience go hand in hand, strengthening each other as you face the ups and downs of the journey. One of the most empowering aspects of discipline is the confidence it builds. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You build trust in your own abilities and strengthen your belief in your capacity to achieve your goals. This confidence becomes a powerful motivator, fueling further discipline and effort. Discipline is not just about the actions you take. It is about the person you become in the process. It is about developing the self-respect and inner strength that come from knowing you are doing your best, even when no one is watching. Discipline is also about focus. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Discipline helps you tune out the noise and concentrate on what is most important. It allows you to prioritize your time and energy, directing them toward the actions that have the greatest impact. Focus requires saying no to the things that do not serve your goals, even when they seem appealing in the moment. It means being intentional with your time, ensuring that every decision you make aligns with your vision and values. Another important aspect of discipline is adaptability. While structure and routines are essential, discipline also requires flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well you plan, there will be times when things do not go as expected. Discipline is not about rigidly sticking to a plan at all costs. It is about staying committed to your goals while being willing to adapt your approach as needed. It is about finding solutions, being resourceful, and staying focused on the end result, even when the path looks different from what you envisioned. Adaptability ensures that discipline remains a strength, not a limitation. Discipline also teaches you patience. Achieving meaningful goals takes time, and progress is often slower than you would like. Discipline helps you stay committed even when the results are not immediately visible. It reminds you that every small step forward is a step in the right direction, that consistency over time leads to growth. Patience is not about waiting passively. It is about trusting the process and continuing to put in the effort, knowing that the rewards will come. Discipline and patience together create the foundation for long-term success. Ultimately, discipline is about taking ownership of your life. It is about understanding that your actions, not your intentions, determine your results. It is about recognizing that you have the power to shape your future through the choices you make every day. Discipline is not about being perfect or never slipping up. It is about having the determination to keep going, to keep striving, and to keep growing. It is about showing up for yourself even when it is hard, even when it is inconvenient, and even when no one else is watching. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is not something you do once. It is a way of life. a commitment to yourself and your goals that you renew every single day.